It's like almost like there's no public access anymore for people who just want to say what they want to say. And I'm having to work my way around it. And I for one want to engage these people, but I know to a point that it's kind of dangerous to do so because a lot of these people are very vindictive, and they will basically censor you.
Well, that seems to be the world we are living in. It's highly censored, and we have to go at it, without a fear of it for now. We just passed 15 minutes, but that's all right. We'll go into part 2. We are Transparency and Merit. So, self-control, is it still being taught?
Yes, to a point, but is it being taught well? And I mean, like, I don't know if for me, my appetite and my food, my addiction to food is, I've gotten better, but I'm still not at that point where I can do things like, I'd like to see if I could go like a week without eating and really like do this intermittent fasting, but it's really hard.
Well, I'll meet a challenge head on, and you meet a challenge head on, and
yes.
I think that it's kind of maybe the kind of environment or the kind of situation where you really need to reach out. And I see you telling people and getting the word out, and I think that's good. You build support that way, and
absolutely.
And I think that's it. You can't do it as long as you realize it's not something you need to do alone. Maybe it can be done alone, but I don't like when people say it can't be done alone, because it can. But I think it helps to have support from wherever you can get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any other thoughts on self-control tonight?
You know what? I don't think I do. I think that is...
Have you hit the wall?
That's about it.
Well, I think we've learned something. I'm not sure what, but what I do want is for people to get involved and communicate and tell us your experience with self-control. What gives you the greatest fit? Is it eating? Is it money and spending? Is it smoking? Is it some sort of abuse? What is it that is it road rage? Let us know.
Who doesn't get angry on the road when someone cuts them off? Or
man, I tell you something. I am so smooth on the road. Nothing phases me, but it does amaze me. It's hard to avoid road rage. And I'm not saying I suffer from it, because I don't. I really don't. I drive a lot in a very busy city, but I see the effects it has on some people. It's very odd. It's kind of scary sometimes when you're out on the road.
Yeah.
So I'm a good defensive driver.
Do you ever get like when you're in a line and someone's taking longer than they should, and it's like there's a food court, and there's a person hasn't made up his mind yet of what bagel he wants, and he's just
yes,
and there are people behind them. Does that ever anger you?
It doesn't anger me. It doesn't anger me because who knows?
Really?
I may get to the soup bar and have a tough decision to make. So who knows what lies ahead?
I'm going to be the guy behind you saying, "Listen, you got to make up your mind. Hurry up."
Well, what if you have 4 different soups to choose from? You don't know what the soups are, and you get to the soups. You got to take a look at them all. It could take you a second. Why do I need to rush my choice?
Now, if I were behind you
Uh-huh.
and you were like at the cashier at like a burger place and you were fiddling around and I went, like,
All right.
you ever go, would you say anything to me like, hey?
I might. I've done it before. I've turned around and I said, I'm so sorry for this inconvenience. So sorry about that.
You should be.
But I'm
Be
not.
a man.
I'm not really. I'm just pointing out the fact that this idiot behind me is not being patient.
I have somewhere to go, and
Yes.
you should realize that when it's rush hour, this is lunchtime, prime time, and other people have to do their eating.
Yes.
And you're cutting into their time.
Yeah, maybe food shouldn't be such an attraction that you're willing to kill somebody for taking time to find their pennies, so they can get exact change.
I have, you know what, and that's one of the things that why I should control my food, because I think the control of my food and my eating has almost cost people their lives, because when someone is taking a long time and they, it's like, hey, know what you want. And I've noticed that the elderly are often far worse at that but I noticed as I've gotten older, there's less I can eat. So I become exactly what I hate, because, before I just, hey, I want a cheeseburger and fries, but now it's like, I want a cheeseburger and fries, but I also I want something that tastes good, that's not going to send me into a diabetic coma. And yeah, so anyway, I think that's about it for that. I mean, but
well, no.
I think I really need to.
Let's be clear here. Self-control is probably something we could talk about all day long.
Yes, yes.
And we haven't even touched the surface of, where I lack self-control. There's
yes.
There's times when I speak out when I shouldn't. There's times when my mouth has gotten me into trouble because of this lack of self-control. So I think that's one area of life I have improved. But man, in my past, there was a time when I could have used a lesson in self-control. That's for sure. Anyways, I think we are done with this. We could go on for hours, but thank you again for listening to Transparency Merit. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, leave comments. Anything else, Mr. Brian, before we get out of here?
You know what? That, I think, will do it. And yes, like and subscribe. And like I said, if you like listening to what you're hearing, and we will continue to improve. And thank you for listening.